Midnight Movie Talk is live from Los Angeles on this Sunday night, the best night of the week. The Sunday night box office show right here with Eric Weber live from Los Angeles. MMT is in effect. Let's get right to the number one story of the day. It is, why did Strange World tank? Now, when you see this new Disney animation film and you see it being released over Thanksgiving, you're like, okay, this is a sure thing. Now let's go back months, okay, not weeks, because I know weeks ago we kind of knew this thing was in trouble. Let's go back months, and we think about that Thanksgiving window for Disney product, and you go back just recently, Coco, Pixar, Disney animation, and you had Strange World sitting here, and you're like, okay, this is a perfect fit. It's Thanksgiving. I mean, people are going to go see this thing. Families need something to see over the 5-day weekend. As you may or may not know, Wednesday night's a huge night for movie going, along with Thursday night's pretty big. After Thanksgiving, people need something to do. They go to the movies. And then Friday is like a big Saturday, and then you also have Saturday. And then today, Sunday, not as much. People are, on the way home to grandma's house and all that stuff. I went to see Strange World today. I'll talk about that in a moment. Not a big crowd. Okay. And it is the big question here tonight. Why did Strange World tank? Because it did. I mean, this is a bomb. I mean, there's no other way to put it. And we pull up Variety, who did a very nice piece here talking about this thing losing $100 million over its theatrical run. That's how much it's going to lose Disney. Bombing over the box office over Thanksgiving. Leaving the studio to mop up oceans, mountains, and terrains of red ink. The animated feature debuted drastically behind expectations with only 12 million over the 3-day, but really we're focusing here on that 5-day of 18.6 million. Listen, projections for this were really in the 30 to 40 range. I would have put it at 25 or higher minimum. This is at 18 and a half. That is far below that. So the question becomes, what happened to this film? Because those are just facts I'm throwing at you. We need to talk about getting under the hood and doing an autopsy of why did Strange World tank. And anyone who is doing a story about Strange World not performing well at the box office and leaving out the aspect of red-blooded Americans, the right side of the political spectrum, they are not happy with a lot of the things that Disney are doing right now. Now, we're not here to judge that, okay? That's not what we're doing here on MMT. We present all the angles so that you can get the full portrait of what happened here to this film. And when you start with that. You start with the fact that there's many people in this country and frankly around the world who are not happy with Disney and their quote, and I do use this in quotes because I don't like to use the word, but when I say it, you know what it means. Woke, right? People say Disney's woke. This is a company that introduces these ideas that we don't want our kids to see. Now, I'm just throwing it out there, okay? This is not for whether it's right or wrong, okay? But there are a lot of people who feel that way. And that's one of the big reasons why this film did not do well. Okay, I know a lot of you are going to say it's the advertising. It didn't look that appealing. After sitting through it, believe me, it's very forgettable. In fact, I dozed off. I mean, I was literally like eyes closed at a 3:30 screening today at the Burbank 16. I started to doze off. I go, wake up. Okay, we got to watch this. Wake up. It is very dull. And it also needs some songs. It needs a bad guy. It needs so many things. This is just not a great film. And that doesn't help. But the narrative that's going out there, that you have your male protagonist here, right? The young kid, the son of a son. That's about the story of generations of a family. He is gay. Okay. Hey, awesome. But the issue is some people don't want to see that. Okay, so that's what we have to talk about when we talk about Strange World not performing, okay? That is number one, not number two, not number three, not number four. That is number one on the list. Beyond that, yes, it is not a great film. That doesn't help either. But the fact that it's sitting there over Thanksgiving, it should have performed. So you tell me why it didn't perform beyond the reason number one that I just laid out for you. Let's go right to the comments here on this Sunday night. Welcome back to those of you here on MMT. We've been off for a few nights. I just love the Sunday night show. This is the number one show. This is the one that we just go off and go because, okay, you're going to ask me, why did I delete my review of Strange World? Here's the issue. Apparently, this film obviously was greenlit many, many years ago, because it takes a long time to make an animated film. So at the time, it fell under Iger's purview, right? But when Chapek took over, clearly that really became when Disney was this quote woke company. Okay, I don't even want to say the word anymore, but there's lots of people who talk about that. So when it was greenlit by Iger, I didn't even want to go into it, because the point of it is what I said when I came out was, you can see why Disney essentially is in panic mode here, because here's another thing that comes out and is being attacked for being woke and is attacked for being a bomb. It just is another bad optic for Disney. And that's why you had to make the change from Iger to Iger from Chapek, because it's just snowballing at this point, where not film Twitter, but the people that don't live on Twitter, the people that pay money to go to movies that aren't you and me, and there's a lot of those people, they aren't happy with Disney. So that's why it is a major story. Everyone on social media says they didn't know this was even coming out. Ron, I understand. That is another issue. I think they knew the film was not great. If you're a studio and you have a film, and you certainly are very intimately knowledgeable about the film, you've seen it, you know whether it's good or bad, and you can't obviously disclose publicly that you think this film is terrible, right? Imagine being Universal. Trust me when I say this. There are people at Universal who are very aware that The Fablemans is not a good film. They are extremely aware of that, but they're never going to let that on. And we talk about The Fablemans in a minute, but when we go back to Strange World, Disney's like, listen, this is not a great film. We're already in trouble. The tracking's bad, because the tracking was getting worse and worse as we got closer to the release date. So they're saying to themselves, and just like you would do, I would imagine, if you had a situation where you've pumped money into something, you know you're going to lose more money. Why would you keep pumping cash into it? Disney looked at this film and said, this is dead. They knew that this film was not going to take off. They had the pre-tracking number. They knew the word on the street was not strong. So why are you going to pump millions and millions and millions of dollars into some ad campaign when you know this is what's going to happen? This $18.6 million opening over 5 days. The 3-day weekend is 12. It's terrible. It's terrible. Those who did see it say it sucks. I mean, listen, it's, again, I'm not going to say it sucks, because that's like a bad. There are some animated films I remember from years ago that are straight up terrible. This is not terrible, but it also is nothing that audiences are going to get excited about. In fact, when I was walking out, I love to listen to what people say. Older couple coming out. That didn't make any sense. I was bored. Where are the songs? Where's the main bad dude? Why is there not a bad guy in this film? All of these things, when you don't have that in your film, it's going to turn people off. You have a B cinema score, which for animation is terrible, right? For horror, that's good. For animation, a B is B for bad, really bad. So right now, you know that audiences didn't like it. The number proves that. It's going to die even worse over the next several days and weeks. It's not like it's going to pick up. Okay, so it is another black eye for Disney, because Lightyear and Strange World tanked, right? People will say families aren't ready to go to the movie theaters yet. Minions, Rise of Gru, made bank, right? That's the thing. You cannot pick and choose and cherry pick your arguments. So you say, well, families aren't going to the multiplex. Well, what about Dominion? What about Minions? What about Strange, Thor? But they're not going to see Lightyear, which, by the way, comparatively did like gangbusters compared to this. And they're not going to see Strange World. You can't just say, oh, well, families aren't going, but then you just have Minions sitting there. You can't. That's a disingenuous argument, and I can't stand that kind of stuff. Like, at least be objective and straight up when you're going to argue points. Do not say families aren't going to the multiplex. They are. They just aren't excited about these movies. They're just absolutely bored from these films. And frankly, I'm kind of bored of a lot of these films. Between Wakanda Forever, Strange World, rolling it back, so many films I've seen recently are just forgettable or just there. and they're not exciting the masses. And I love awards films. I imagine a lot of you too as well. But when you look at Tar and Women Talking and Bones and All and Fablemans, you're not talking about films that the average person gives two craps about. They don't care. They don't want to see those films. Okay, they know about Fablemans because of Spielberg. But Women Talking, we discussed, that's a terrible title. I mean, it should be called The Colony. And I love Women Talking. By the way, we'll continue here. I want to make sure you guys are playing the game. Play the game. It starts now. Can you spot all of the new FYC screeners behind me? Only new. If I move something and it's older, that doesn't count. Only brand new FYC screeners. And by the way, there's a ton of them up there tonight. It was just, I literally had a gold mine of screeners. Some of my favorite films of the year are up there. So be looking for those as we continue. Back to the comments. Walt Disney needs to figure out what they misread. Worldwide audiences want so, give me a second, want so much, and why they didn't become Disney Plus exclusive. Huge oopsie on Kareem's part. Maybe one of the reasons they let Iger let him go. Listen, you got two major execs out, okay? And you have a situation here where Chapek is like, let's go theatrical with Strange World and let's go streaming with Turning Red. Now, I'm not a fan of Turning Red, but I can tell you this, Turning Red is more of a guaranteed moneymaker than Strange World. If I'm at Disney and I'm telling you I can get there on my bike, I'm right down the street from Disney, I could go into a meeting and watch all three of these films, from Turning Red to, what was the other one they threw out on streaming? Let's just go with Turning Red, and we go with Strange World. And I'd be like, here's the thing. Strange World, Disney Plus. Turning Red, you're sending that to theaters. And they flipped it. They messed it up. And they should have, if anything, slid something else here instead of Strange World, because now you left a whole bunch of money on the table during Thanksgiving, which was the weakest Thanksgiving ever at the box office because of Strange World underperforming. You wanted something to step into the hole and be like, here I am, let's make some cash. We didn't have that. We did have Wakanda Forever sneak up and actually do really solid, good numbers over the 5-day. Why? Because Strange World did not draw crowds. There was nothing else to see other than Glass Onion. We'll get to that in a moment. And you were sitting there with Wakanda Forever as the real only option that you had if you wanted to go see something that seemed hot beyond Glass Onion, okay? But there is a major problem with Wakanda Forever. And this is something I don't think anyone else is talking about. You're only going to get it here, and you're only going to get it, well, you got it from me on Twitter earlier, but you're getting it from me right now. Right now, at the same point in the sales cycle, 17 days in on Wakanda Forever, domestically, it's $25-ish million more than Strange 2. That's great, right? Sounds good. But here's the problem. Read the tweet. Globally is where Multiverse of Madness substantially outshines Wakanda Forever. After 17 days, same exact amount of time, Strange 2 had $803 million globally versus Panther 2 with $675. That's $125 plus million under for Wakanda Forever at the same point in the release cycle. That is a major problem. That should be a big story. But, we spin things and we say that, like I said, Wakanda is ahead domestically right now after 17 days, but it's behind 127.5 million worldwide. That is huge. Why do you think that's happening? Well, I can tell you why. We've talked about this. Because it's not great. Wakanda Forever is not a good film. One of the best laughs I had, by the way, this was a great laugh. On Film Tour, did you guys see this? Someone was saying, there was talk of a Namor, spin-off film, a standalone film for Namor. Like, what are you guys doing? Film Twitter, just stop. Film Twitter, you guys are joke. You're a joke if you think that Namor, the character that we got in Wakanda Forever, is going to get a standalone film. One of the weakest aspects of Wakanda Forever, you're going to give a standalone film to? What are you talking about? Who are these people? And I certainly would never want them anywhere near me in a test audience if I was running like a test screening of something. These people don't know shit. Are you kidding me? Namor in a standalone film? That's one of the funniest things I ever saw in my life. You gotta be, these people are delusional. They are absolutely delusional. Okay, comments in a moment. Let's keep going. Glass Onion. It peeled off an impressive debut. I apologize. I could not resist. Here is the under the hood details on Glass Onion. Netflix did not give us any numbers. They want to play that, keep it in their back pocket and pretend that, they don't have the numbers. Of course they do. According to sources, it's right around 13 million for the 5-day. For the week, because it's now going to go 1 week, right, is going to be about 15 million, maybe a little more than that. That breaks down to a very impressive per theater average of like 18,000 plus, okay? So it's only in like 678-ish screens, something like that. I think that's the number. And so when you look at that and you break it down per location, it's a very good number of 18,000 per. So you're wondering, why did Netflix not go wide with this? Why are they only going to go a week? Here's my theory. I think that Netflix, in like a day or two, not tonight, maybe not tomorrow, Tuesday, maybe even Wednesday, the very last moment, Netflix is like, we're going to continue Glass Onion at AMC, at Regal for another week. Perfect sales pitch. It's brilliant marketing, is it not? You have everyone go, oh, it's leaving. We got to see it. Oh, but by popular demand, we're going to extend it for another week. If that happens, first of all, give me a like, because it's going to happen. Second of all, come back and give me like multiple likes, plus plenty of super chat cash for that, because I'm telling you now, plan on it. They're going to extend Glass Onion. It doesn't show up on Netflix until Christmas. You have this movie that's performing very well right now at AMC and at Regal and other theater chains. This is the first wide major release for Netflix, and it's doing very well. And you're telling me Netflix is going to yank it out of theaters? They're going to turn down cash? No. They're going to extend it another week. It's coming soon. If not tomorrow, Tuesday or Wednesday, when the press release comes out, you guys are, oh yeah, we heard that on MMT on Sunday night. Of course you did. Okay, so let's continue going. Then we'll get into the comments. Anything you guys want to talk about, it's good. By the way, don't forget, over my shoulder, spot all the new FYC screeners. I'll give you a hint. Elvis is up there. Like, you can't see that. It's literally like right there, along with a bunch of my favorite movies of the year are up here. I mean, this is like a treasure trove of my favorite films of 2022 up on the wall right now. It's really, this is the best the walls have ever looked. Okay. Do you see this one up there? And you're going to, this is funny. There's a reason that I put Fablemans where it is. Can you even see it? Because that's how much I think of the Fablemans. I have it buried up above a far superior film in X. I mean, like literally night and day when it comes to filmmaking, when you have X and you have the Fablemans, okay? But Fablemans is up there, and it's going to be right there where you can barely see it. If the Fablemans goes on to win Best Picture at Oscars 2023, coming up here in, where are we now, like 3 months or so. It's going to be the longest 3 months ever, by the way. It's just like, let's just get it over with. If the Fablemans wins Best Picture, I will make the argument here tonight, as I did on Twitter, and I'll do it here live. It will be the worst Best Picture ever in the history of the Oscars. Worse than Crash, worse than Shakespeare in Love, worse than Green Book. You name the film, worse than Coda, and I don't even think Coda is particularly great by any means. Fablemans is bad. I will absolutely sell out for that. I have, and I will continue to do that. And people are like, why are people so angry? Why are you so angry and so full of vitriol for the Fablemans? It's just not nice. Just let people like what they like. God, I hate that. Ugh. Like, no. Why we are in this space is because we love and we're very passionate about our films, and we're going to argue for the ones we love and absolutely trash the ones we hate. That's how I operate, and I'm not going to change. If that hurts someone's feelings, so be it. Don't care. The Fablemans across the board, from Michelle Williams to, I would argue, Paul Dano. The only good person here is Gabriel. The kid's good. The rest of the film is not at all. There's not any element here that is Best Picture worthy. Not one. And I'm telling you, like I said when I came out of the film, and here we are again tonight. If this were a film exactly the same about a kid growing up to become a director, only it wasn't Steven Spielberg. It was someone who had far less success. But the film is essentially the same, because as soon as you say it's the same film, well, some smart ass on Twitter is like, well, then they had intimate knowledge of Steven Spielberg's childhood. You know what we're saying. We are saying that this is being judged on a curve because it's Spielberg's life story. But that doesn't make it good. It can't make it good. A film is not good because what it's about. Ever. A film is good because it is of a very high quality, because the elements are all there, whether it's the performances, the direction, the screenplay, the cinematography, the score, production design, sound, all the elements. These are all here. The Fablemans, from a screenplay perspective alone, is very close to an F for me. So how the hell is it a Best Picture? It's only here because of Steven Spielberg. And you guys know I'm right. Give me a like. It's just like, but I don't really need, you should really just naturally hit it, because as soon as you hear that, you know I'm right. And the only reason Babylon's in the discussion for Best Picture, which by the way, it won't be when it's all said and done. That is talk about terrible. That film. Damien Chazelle. Who cares? No one cares who directs a film. I don't. The films behind me that I love, and you now can see all the brand new ones. I never went into X. I didn't go into Marcel. I didn't go into Elvis. I didn't go to a single film that I love up here and say, I'm going to love this film because I know the director. No, I love the film because the film kicks ass. After Sun, great. Oh my God, right there. One of my favorite films of the year, After Sun. A24 gem. Charlotte Wells, feature debut. I don't care who directed the film. I don't even care if it was a woman, a man, a dog, a hamster. It doesn't matter. The film's great. I don't view films through lenses of this person's good, therefore the film is good. That's a very dangerous place to be in. We have a lot of critics like that, right? We have a lot of critics who are like, well, this is good because it deals with this subject. No. Movies are not good because they are about a subject. They are good because they are of a high quality. There's no other way to put that. And After Sun, for a feature debut by Charlotte Wells, is one of the best films of the year. And I didn't go into it thinking anything about it. I watched it and I said, this film kicks ass. That's how you review films. You do not review films by it's Steven Spielberg, therefore it's good. And if you are doing that, you suck. You're bad at this. You're really bad. Fablemans or Babylon is a Best Picture. Choose your poison. Fablemans. You're asking me. You're putting a loaded gun to my head and saying you have to pull the trigger. I'm praying there's not a bullet in that chamber, because you just literally put me with a situation I never want to face, having to pick between Fablemans and Babylon. Why don't you throw the whale in there for a real triple threat of, oh my God, I can't believe you're asking me this. I hate you for that question. But yes, I should actually make you pay. Now I'm going to demand a super chat for making me even address that situation. By the way, members, you are up. I gotta make sure I see you guys here. You're all green. I love you. By the way, new member Diana, thank you for joining the channel. Thank you for being a member. Love it. Continue on. Let's see. I'm going to go through members and we'll come back around. Strange World did well in Utah per deadline, plus it underperformed worldwide. Therefore, the woke factor is not a predominant factor. I disagree, Ali. I completely disagree. I think it's very big. It's very big. Marvin, your Sunday streams are the best. Thank you. You know what's funny, Marvin? At this point, I really think we might end up just making MMT a Sunday night show. We might still do one on a big night where there's a movie, but I feel like we just load up. We just absolutely unload all of the ammo on Sunday night. We could even go an hour and a half. The point is that this is the central night. This is the night that we come on and we just detonate. And we do what we need to do. And I think that's very important. By the way, if you missed it, I had an A24 unboxing video. I did it live. It was very tight. It's like a 9-minute video. If you want to see everything, including Marcel, from the A24 unboxing, they sent their Christmas giant box of goodies, and Marcel the shell's inside. By the way, this thing, can you hear this? It is like made, it's like porcelain. It's not porcelain, heavier than that. It's like lead. Porcelain, good Lord. I dozed off here and there during Strange World. 100%, Ian, right? Like, oh my God. The RT audience reviews comment from parents are wild. Yeah, the parents are like, this movie's terrible. This movie is, I don't want my kids to see the sexual, whatever it is. Listen, however you feel about it, you got to understand there are parents out there who don't want that. Now, okay, and you're going to flip that around and say, well, what about when there is a young man in a movie and he's infatuated with a princess? I don't know. Yes, that is a double standard. I can't, right? There you go. I'm admitting this. But there are a lot of conservative parents out there who don't want to see it. And don't come at me saying that I'm saying that. I'm telling you there is a segment of the population who does think that. So if that's the case, we have to at least discuss it. We have to. I believe it embraces sexual liberation. I don't give a damn if you're woke or not, but at least they should not include such things in children movies. Sharma, I think there's certainly a lot of people that feel like that. Okay. And if you do feel like that, it's your deal. You're allowed to. Diana, thank you. Really appreciate it. Super chat. Next, give me a comment, Diana. I would absolutely read it at this point. I mean, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, let's continue along. But I mean, really, yes, the Batman's on the wall. What else do we have? X, Batman, Elvis, everything everywhere. We have, let's see, what else? What am I missing here? Fablemans is up there. Oh, you can't see. Underneath the clock, I have Pinocchio. This is the Del Toro Pinocchio, which I think is okay. I don't think it's great. That's why it's not really that featured. I also dug out, can you guys see Chadwick over here? Chadwick Boseman over here, Black Panther, the original is here. Now that's a new to the wall, but it's obviously not a new one. Pearl's up there, everything everywhere is up there. What do we have back here? Elvis, Bones and All, Marcel, After Sun, Women Talking. And I know there's at least one more up there. I mean, guys, it was, like I said, it's a good, the only one I want now is Maverick. That's the one I really want. Do you think Iger will work to restore Disney for an Apple acquisition? Maybe. I mean, Apple seems to have all the cash in the universe, so why not? Why not? I mean, at this point, I don't think it's going to happen, though. I feel like Disney and Apple cannot be one company. At that point, we're getting very close, dangerously close to having like one world conglomerate. Oh, then again, the New World Order. So, maybe that's what they want. Maybe we will have that. Oh, God, we could talk about that too. Why not? Women Talking's up there. Pinocchio, yes. Stream, Pinocchio had a very small theatrical component. I think it's not at AMC. It's not at Regal. It's at the smaller chains. That doesn't count. I mean, this is the first time Netflix came in with a film that was at AMC and Regal, and it's really something that should have happened years ago. I mean, years ago. There have been many films that would have done well for Netflix, even The Gray Man, a film I loathe. The film that will forever live in the popcorn box from the premiere in one of the worst films of 2022. If this is theatrical, it does okay numbers. I promise you it does. Because there was nothing out at that time, and people were curious about that. You had major stars in it. Why not? Wakanda Forever has a lack of male energy. I mean, I guess that's true. I can't argue that. Doctor Strange was cheaper if you believe the budgets. I wouldn't doubt that. Diana, here we go. Just joined. There we go. I owed you a comment. Based on your inside knowledge, you think Top Gun Maverick will win Best Picture? I hope so. I will say, listen, this is the moment that I'm going to proclaim something that I believe is absolutely going to happen. I told you that Babylon was going to win Best Picture months ago. Now, remember, that was sight unseen. So I said, Damien Chazelle, 1920s Hollywood, Paramount, let's go ahead and put that as the leader in the clubhouse, sight unseen. After seeing Babylon, goodbye, no chance. That movie's going nowhere. It's terrible. And if you want proof that it's terrible, you don't see people get up and walk out of screenings often. It's very rare that you go to a first screening of a film out here in LA and you watch multiple people get up and leave like they did during Babylon. Not to go to the lobby, to leave, to go home, keys in the car, goodbye. And that tells me this film's dead. Now, Paramount's got some good news, though. Babylon's out. But Top Gun Maverick is sitting here in a place that it very easily can walk up and win this Best Picture race. And let me lay out why. First of all, it's beloved, right? No question. We know that everybody loves Top Gun Maverick. I'm not talking about some people. I'm talking everybody. Scott Mendelson doesn't count. He's wrong. Everyone else loves the movie. But most importantly, when you look at this from when you're doing a ballot for Best Picture, if you guys do not know how the Oscars work, you are using a preferential ballot. That means you're listing your films in order of how you perceive them. Your favorite film is going to be 1, your least favorite film is going to be 10. So what you end up with is films that are going to be towards the top of the scale, the 1s, the 2s, the 3s, the 4s, those are going to do really well. The films that are going to be at the bottom, the more polarizing films in the 10 spot, I would argue Everything Everywhere All at Once is a film that will be up at the 1 and then at the 10. Maverick is going to be in the 1, 2, or 3 spot on almost every ballot. Okay? Well, guess what that means? That means you win. Because on a preferential ballot, if you're that high on that many number of ballots, which is going to be a huge number, almost all of them are going to be up there at that level. Maverick's going to be in the 1, 2, or 3 spot. That'll end up winning Best Picture. So if it happens, that's the timestamp. 9/18 on the 27th of November, Top Gun Maverick is your Best Picture winner. I will not be surprised. Luis, I'm a little familiar with him. He admits Wakanda will earn 806. I had it at 850. Maybe it goes up a little higher than that. It still has time. I just feel like the one thing that Wakanda has going for it is the fact what Sharma's saying here, these movies are not exciting. If these movies were half decent, we'd have an issue. But because you have nothing good, you have a wonderful runway for Wakanda Forever to keep kicking ass because there's nothing great out there that is there to contend with it other than Glass Onion. It's a shame that it's not there in India. It really is. I mean, I enjoy Glass Onion. I had a chance to see it the other day. I don't think we talked about it here. I think it's stronger than Knives Out. I think the reason that it's stronger is there's a bunch of reasons. The number one reason is Daniel Craig's actually better this time around. He's even more sinking into his character. He was great in the original. He's better here. Then you also have 2 performances that I absolutely loved. Kate Hudson, this is going to bring her back, right? She was kind of like, what happened to her? She was in the rom-coms and all that, and she has her Fabletics brand making billions of dollars from that. But here, which by the way, do you love how the character in Glass Onion is kind of Fabletics? I thought that was hilarious. But then you have Edward Norton. Edward Norton here is, I think, very strong in a supporting role. I also think it's a shame that Edward Norton did what he did, the whole situation with the Marvel. If you guys don't know, go back and look. Ed Norton has a reputation in Hollywood of being a pain in the ass, okay? Whether that's... Now, listen, you can be a pain in the ass. Trust me, I am. He has a very strong passion for what he's involved in. So if you hire him, he's going to have a lot of input into what happens. Now, I don't know what happened with Rian Johnson on Knives Out, but when you get Edward Norton, you're going to get a passionate guy. Marvel was like, listen, you're asking for too much for the Hulk. Remember, he was the Hulk, and then they booted him because he was a pain in the ass. He was demanding all these things. They said, we don't want to deal with this. You aren't worth the trouble. We're going to get Ruffalo in here. But that aside, when you look at Edward Norton as a thespian, as an on-screen actor, you are looking at a very high quality, one of the better actors out there, and we're reminded of that when we watch Glass Onion. So you have Craig better, you have a killer Hudson, and then you have a very, very, very strong Edward Norton, and that's what makes the movie better. That triumvirate, that group of 3 makes the film better, plus location here. When you put me on a remote island for a rich dude, I'm going to have more fun with the film than inside of a mansion, right? It takes your mind somewhere else. It's like a little mini vacay at the theater. Now, is it 20 minutes too long? Yes. Are there issues I have with the film as far as the script being too much? There's just too much going on here. Too many things need to be explained. I wish it was a little more whittled down. But in general, I'd still prefer to have my brain operating and thinking about what's happening rather than just having things wash over me like Strange World. Okay? And by the way, Patrick, this is a great thing. This is a good comment. I can't pass this one. Twitter is not real, right? I hope you guys know that what happens in Twitter stays on Twitter almost always, especially film Twitter. The people on film Twitter are representative of the smallest piece of the movie-going pie, okay? But if you listen to them, you would think you're talking about the entire thing, right? Here we go. Go back, look no further than films like Mass. Oh my God. Film Twitter it's just comedy hour with Film Twitter. Mass is going to be a winner of all these awards and going to get 4 nominations for supporting. It got none. Do you know why? Because Mass is a pain in the ass to watch. No one wants to sit through a morgue. I mean, literally, it is like a wake for 2 hours. And I'm not saying the performances aren't good. You have to understand when you watch Mass that the average person does not want to watch that film. Film Twitter doesn't get that. They're almost like, I don't know what happened to the way they process information, but a lot of these people just aren't normal. They don't view things in a normal lens. Not saying that you have to, but they view it through this whack lens that they think what they're saying is representative of everything, and it's not. It's like representative of like the tiniest little thing. Exactly. Find out what Twitter loves and run the other way. So if they're saying, I'm telling you here tonight also, everything everywhere is over my shoulder, right? There's a part of me that believes that Everything Everywhere All at Once may not be the awards darling everyone thinks it's going to be. Now, do I think it's more accessible than Mass? Do I think it has much more buzz going for it than Mass? Yes, but I also am telling you that Film Twitter thinks that Everything Everywhere is going to beat Top Gun Maverick. Do they even know? The people that go to Hollywood screenings, the people in the Academy, the people in like mainstream awards groups, because trust me, they're going to lean towards Maverick over Everything Everywhere All at Once. But again, Film Twitter, oh God, did they say, well, why is it problematic? Why is Film Twitter saying it's problematic? I'm only going to read this. I'm not saying I'm saying this. Screw those sad freaks. But the truth is, not you guys. You guys are amazing. Film Twitter is, come on. There's a reason why a lot of them are hiding behind avatars. If you're hiding behind an avatar, God bless you. But all right, I'm not going to go down that path. But yeah, just whatever Film Twitter says, bet the opposite because they speak for almost nobody. Solomon, I wouldn't mind watching Namor in a solo film if they did the character justice. Great films are rewatchable. Wakanda Forever is not 100. We called that the night we saw it, right? Not rewatchable. But I would say it's not just the character; it's also the casting. I've said it before. I'm not going to get into it again. Go back and watch the stream. I definitely believe Namor was miscast. I believe that what's the female Iron Man? God Almighty, what's the name of that one? Her Ironheart miscast. You need to be younger there. Namor's got to be more physically jacked. Sorry, those are the rules. It's got to happen. So no, not if you want to recast Namor and then make some kind of, then we can start. The menu. Oh, it's great. I love the menu. When I get the menu screener, that is absolutely going front and center up here along with Maverick. These are my favorite films of the year, but a lot of them are already up here. Like, look, okay, so behind me, we have X, we have After Sun, we have Elvis. All I need is Tar. I really need Tar. She Said, one of my favorite movies of the year. We have, it's really strong up here. Bones and All, I appreciate for the aesthetics, and I love Luca's direction. The performances, solid. Screenplay, but when I look at a film, like just the pure physical viewing of a film, I look at Bones and All, and I go, oh my God, I love this film. I hope Netflix expands the release for Glass Onion, including expanding the theaters it's available, boutique theaters. I'm telling you, they're gonna announce an extension this week. I guarantee it. Glass Onion is a 4-quad film. People loved it. Steven, yeah, I'd say it's 3.5. Young kids are not going to see Glass Onion, right? So for 4, I really need to have the young kids in, the families, the young, like the Strange World families that should have gone to see Strange World that didn't. So it's really 3.5. I would argue, I would say that it absolutely is. Everything else is there, though. You got older audiences. I think younger people are interested. And it's interesting here is when you look at it, there's not really a young actress in this or a young actor that's going to draw in the crowds. Like, let's say a Timothée Chalamet. And then you say, well, wait a second. Timothée Chalamet, is he a star? We could go on that for a moment. I mean, Bones and All opened with like $1,000 per screen average. Now, we knew Bones and All is a very niche film, very much of a Film Twitter film. So again, perfect example of a film that's going to work on Film Twitter and not in the real world, Bones and All, right? So, but Timothée Chalamet, hit me with a comment. Answer me this. Is Timothée Chalamet a star? Is he a box office star? Because he hasn't proven it. He has not proven it. Wonka is going to be a major test for him. Thank God he's working with Paul King, the genius behind Paddington 1 and 2, because the film's going to be good. As long as Timothy just does something even halfway decent, that film's going to rock because of Paul King. But I'm just telling you, I don't know if he's a star. I don't know if he's a star. If Netflix does not extend the release of Glass Onion, huge yell. So 100%, really silly. I mean, just like, what are we doing at that point, right? I mean, you really are, you're turning away money. It doesn't make any sense. Women Talking does not have a release date in my country, Wasim. That's a pain. It's really a shame. It's great. It's also a shame, not only that it's not in your country, but it's also a shame that the movie is titled Women Talking, because it is a terrible title. And when you see the film and you go, oh my God, why did you not just rename it The Colony? And don't tell me there's some tiny little indie film from last year or 5 years ago that no one has heard of called The Colony. We're not trying to rename it Nomadland or Green Book or Wakanda Forever. Name any film that has any kind of audience. We're talking about a film no one knows about, The Colony. Call it The Colony. Do you want to see The Colony, or do you want to watch Women Talking? Which one of those films do you want to watch? You have a choice tonight. Do you want to watch The Colony, or do you want to watch Women Talking? You just shouted it out loud. You want to see The Colony. MGM, I swear to God, you could pay me cash. $10,000, that's it. It's not, I know that sounds like a lot. For a title, for making your money, your movie's going to make millions off of me changing that. It's going to go from a $2 million film to maybe a $4 million film. I mean, Women Talking is not going to do crazy numbers, but it's going to double its money by me coming in, walking in. I feel like Sean Parker in The Social Network, right? That is what I will do one day for studios. I'm going to walk in like Sean Parker in The Social Network and say, Facebook, it's cleaner. And then get up and leave. That's all I'm going to do. The Colony, it's better. Money, goodbye. That's how I'm going to operate. Or I'll watch a film and just go, this is terrible. Re-edit, lose 20 minutes, cut this whole roll out, and then I don't even know how you market this. You guys are in bad shape. You should have let me see the script before you even went to production with it. That's how you make money. Timothy is quite charming. I would agree. Listen, Ahmed, is Shafkat. He has a presence. He's definitely thin. Okay. But listen, he it seems to be this preponderance. Ladies seem to like now more of let's just say the truth, more of a feminine man. In this case, Timothy fits the bill. He looks like he's still 15. How old is Timothy Chalamet? He's got to be at least 24, 25. But Chalamet is, I'm not saying he's a bad actor. I'm saying he's not a box office draw, and that's the problem. Chalamet just said he took the entire Dune 2 cast to a Top Gun Maverick screening, his favorite movie. Good. I know, I saw that. And Scott, I saw that, and I love seeing that he loves Top Gun Maverick, because that's how Hollywood feels about the film, which will drive film Twitter crazy. Oh, what are you doing giving Top Gun Maverick Best Picture? You should have given it to Mass a year late. These people are so delusional. Like, what are you doing? These people, and the same people that are loving Babylon and think Fablemans is great. It's like, I swear to you, listen, man, it makes you just shake your head and go, you can't just call yourself a film evaluator. You can't do it. You can, but then you instantly discredit yourself by saying the Fablemans is a masterpiece. Like, it's gone. Every bit of film cred that you had, evaporate. It's gone because you just called the Fablemans a masterpiece. What the hell it is? The Colony's a TV show. Who cares? No one watched it, Wasim. No one knows the guy. See, now I'm not saying it's never been used when I say change Women Talking to The Colony. I'm saying that no one's ever heard of that show, right? It wasn't a big deal. Now, you can't change your movie title to something that was huge, right? We can't change something to, even not something here, Coda. We can't change our movie title to just recently, like I said, Nomadland. We can't turn it to Joker. But we can turn it to The Colony. We can change it to that, because no one knows what the hell that is. They never saw the movie and they didn't watch the series, right? So if it's obscure, we can do that. You just put the year next to it, I think is how you do that, right? If it's the same title, you just put the year. So the poster can still say The Colony, but when it's there, it can say The Colony 2022. Who cares? The point is, it's going to make more money. It's going to make way more money. Anytime I see film Twitter piss take, I post Robert Pattinson delusion. Good. Yeah, that's a lot. Well, Seem, you're gonna spend a lot of time doing that. I'm telling you, I have so many people muted on film Twitter. In fairness, they probably have me muted, so it's actually a two-way street. It's wonderful. It really works for both of us. But I really do. I read some takes and some things, and I go, "Where is this person's head?" Like, like I know you love films, but you can't just love films. You have to have talent at evaluating films. You have to earn that. You cannot step in and just instantly proclaim yourself king of the film evaluations. It does not work like that. You have to prove yourself repeatedly over time. I've been doing this for over 10 years, over a decade. You have to go back and look over time at how people reacted to certain films, and then you have that the patchwork, all the work you have in front of you. You have the mosaic of everything that you've put out there, and then you say, well, this person knows what they're doing, this person doesn't know what they're doing. And then when you are wrong, and it is subjective, I get it, it's subjective, okay, but there are certain films you can't be wrong on. And The Fablemans is not a masterpiece. The Fablemans is not a good film. So when you're calling it the best picture and it's very clearly the best picture, you're wrong. There's no other way to put it. Okay. You're objectively wrong. Even I guarantee if you put someone from Universal in a chair and said, okay, you must tell the truth. Is it good? They'd be like, no, it's terrible. Like give them the lasso. Give them Wonder Woman's lasso. By the way, she's still down there. Um, Hold on. I forgot to do this. Tonight's kit at Atlanta. By the way, here's what we're gonna do. From now on, the color of the banners, everything will match the football kit. Soccer jersey for those of you in the United States. For everyone else, football kit. It'll match that. So tonight, Atlanta blue. Therefore, tonight, all the stuff is. See, these are the things, the style things. I just think, why are we not doing that? So, any ideas, you guys? Any suggestions you have? Bring it. Okay, you want to do? Do you want to do a physique critique? All right. Wait a minute. We've got Robert Pattinson, Colony of Women. That works. Okay. Here, hold on. I did see a good comment here. Anytime I see a film. Okay, we already got that. Sorry, my bad. I already did that. Okay. Glass Onion? No one has a good. Okay, hold on. Okay, let's do it. Let's do Kumail from here it is. Okay, guys, here we go. Let's do Kumail from Eternals. And here he is. Let's pull it up. Let's see if I can get a big version of this here. His superhero physique. Here it is. Okay. So listen, I let me when I first saw Kumail, I said, man, hold up. I said, this guy looks good. I didn't know he was like in that good a shape before, right? So, okay, so when I look at this physique, I say, man, it looks a lot like mine. I had to say that. I had to just to get people going, oh, there he goes. So when I look at Kumail and I say that, again, we're doing the physique critique. For those of you who are unfamiliar for the segment here, we take an actor that got in shape for a role and we say, what they did right and wrong, or, just general assessment of what I see. What I see right here is I don't even know how he could have more veins in his arms. I mean, I take pride in like having decently veiny arms, and in this guy, I mean, this guy has veins branching off of other veins. This might be a world record for veins on his right arm, right? He's got the hairy chest, which I don't have a hairy chest. I can't grow that. It just is what it is. Like, you either have a hairy chest or not. He has a hairy chest. I think it looks good for his thing. He looks this is a good look. I mean, his pecs look good. He's got solid, 8-pack-ish looking thing there. Good traps. He busted his ass. Now, I will say that it seemed like it came on pretty fast. I'm not saying that, but I will say, listen, okay, so if you are going to get in shape for a movie, let's imagine that someone comes to me. Oh, by the way, they're coming to Soups first. They're not coming to me. They're coming to Soups. Soups, you're going to be in the next Marvel movie. Talk about delusional. They're coming to me, bro. Some of us already look like Kumail. We don't have to like put on, CGI shit. But when they come, they're going to say, hey, we want you to get in shape for the movie. You don't think they're going to take some kind of, enhancement, any kind of special magic sauce to make them look a little bit bigger and a little more cut? Of course they are. I would probably do the same thing if I wasn't, or if they said, hey, here's something to just give you a little, maybe I'd do it. I'm not saying I'd take it like anabolic steroids, because I think then you look too big. But in this case, I think Kumail looks very good. I would give this, I would say at least a 9 out of 10. I mean, I was very impressed when I saw it. Alex is okay. If you missed any of the stream, we started a little early. It's all good. It's all there for you on the re-rack. And we're going to go a little longer. So Sunday night's going to be our night. It's going to be absolutely our night. So I think that's really not much more to say. Anything you want to add to that, go ahead. You're saying it's roids. I mean, maybe. I'm not saying, I don't know. I'm not going to accuse him of that because I know, listen, you guys know I've posted 1 or 2 shirtless pictures in the past on Twitter. Never, ever grab me a Bible, put me under oath, whatever you want to do. Never, ever have I touched steroids. I've told you how to do it. 1, whey protein. 2, glutamine. 3, BCAAs. 4, creatine. You put those 4 things to work for you, and you add that with a sensible diet, and I mean not eating, going to Five Guys and eating a triple cheeseburger and a double fries. You can't do that. You have to make little concessions here and there. Like I eat sweet potato fries instead of regular fries. I eat chicken instead of beef. But if you add those 4 elements I told you about, whey protein, BCAA, creatine, glutamine, those four, and you bust your ass, you can it'll take you some time, but you can do that. Now, if you want to get there faster, there is that. Indiana Stark Jones, new member, thank you. Welcome to the channel, my friend. Oh, you like the blue. I mean, we can, again, it can change with the jersey, the kit. It just depends, but it's just makes it different. Okay, well, you're saying, but here's the problem. Tomorrow on Twitter, I'm going to send out a shirtless picture. I'm only doing it for this. I'm not doing it because I want to. I'm doing it because I'm going to prove a point. When I do that, I'm going to tell you guys, some of you are going to say he's using steroids. I do not and have never used them. Now, I cannot speak to what's happening here with him, but nonetheless, he looks good. Chris Gore, what do you think? Physique critique. Did someone? There it is. It's becoming the most popular segment on the show. And if anyone ever steals this, you know damn well it only originated here. How dare these people try to steal it from MMT? The physique critique. I should go ahead and trademark that. Gore's here. He's always lurking. He's a big fan of MMT, and I'm a big fan of Chris Gore. We have a very wonderful relationship. Is it Photoshop or physique? Chris, this is now becoming a very heated discussion. When I look at his veins, let me zoom in one more time. When I look at his veins, okay, look at the right arm. When I look at that right arm, I'm saying to myself, there might be an added element of Photoshop there because I have, some veins in my arm, but this is almost like he's got things growing inside of him. It's a little bit excessive. Jubin says the upper chest could be better. Jubin, by the way, dude, it was awesome meeting you the other night. We come out of Glass Sunday, and I was talking to my buddy Paul, and he's like, "Hey, man, you're Eric? Yeah, talk to us." Oh, what a pleasure! It was fun, man. Isn't it great out there supporting AMC? I do love AMC. It's not that I don't love Regal. We just don't have Regals here. I love AMC. AMC, ride or die. But yeah, I don't know. Hold on. Let me zoom back in on his upper chest, and then we'll move on. I mean, you guys are like, okay, that's like, it's fun for, yeah. Listen, my upper chest looks like that, so I'm not gonna. I can't critique his upper chest. I don't think that's fair, Jubin. Botox, maybe. HGH is popular. I don't doubt it, Ken. I'm just telling you, I don't ever touch it. You give it 9. All right, a few more, and then we're gonna move on. Lionel Messi took HGH. I mean, listen, if you can HGH, if you do, you do. I'm just saying you can get there without taking it. Bring in Chris Gore and talk about Tarantino shitting on Marvel actors, saying they're not movie stars. Gore, yeah, we'll do that. I might go on his show and do that. I love cheeseburger. You do. You love to eat and drink. That's what Chris Gore likes to do. You're shredded, but you're on. Patrick, how rude. Listen. I know I'm not huge. Gore, defend me. I should have been a nutritionist. I know. I'm going to do that on my side thing. You're shredded on it. Hey, Gore, tell him. I'm not huge. Forget it. I don't care. Hail Chris Gore. It's 3 times. That's this. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, fine. That's it. No more physique critique. We're moving on. And I don't use HGH. Manscaper, maybe a little bit. Kumail went through all that trouble, then they never did a shirtless scene. That's right, they didn't. That was totally ridiculous. Like, he's like, you're in great shape. You look good in the suit. They can add all that in CG. Or a lot of times, like, look at, what's his name from Shazam, right? He's totally got, like, foam muscles inside there. He's not nearly that big. Not like The Rock and Black Adam. They're like, just put the suit on, dude. You're yoked. I would look bigger on camera, not here, but I know this: the camera in Hollywood adds 10 pounds. Whenever you meet someone in person, they look smaller for sure, usually shorter, and then they're not as big. The one of the few exceptions of that, when I met him and I go, damn, this guy's big. He looks like a linebacker. He's good looking. He's super cool and was ultra kind that I met him. You guys know, I've already said it before. It's Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx kicks ass. He is, man, listen, if another man crush of mine is absolutely Jamie Foxx. I do not skip leg day. I will absolutely thank you, Patrick. I look great. Appreciate it. You're starting to make me feel bad about my physique. By the way, I'd like to say one thing. It's kind of hard to see, but I remember how I told you we were going to do we were going for the mullet. I think we're close. Do you guys see this? Can you see that we're almost, it's hard to see here because the light. Let me see if I can move over here. Do you see? This is a mullet. This is becoming a mullet. So I'm very happy that I've stuck with my hair growth regimen, which includes not cutting my hair for a number of weeks to the point where it's really in this weird stage. But remember, when I saw Lost Boys, I said, I really want to look like Kiefer Sutherland. I want to look like all the Lost Boys. I want to look like Patrick. I want to look like Jason Patrick. I want to look like even Corey Haim had one. They all had really good looking mullets. So as this hair gets longer, it's really going to be mullety very soon. Yes, I can. It just takes forever. It's going to take me a while. But at some point, I'm going to pull it into almost like a ponytail. I'll look like Aaron Rodgers before he just cut his hair. By the way, they lost. Official best show on YouTube. I appreciate it. You know what? I know this, Wasim. It is the most niche film show, but yet it's all about the community. It's the fun. We're no holds barred. Let's just get into it. Let's go another 15, and then we're gonna wrap tonight. And then real quick before I forget, tomorrow I'm gonna sit next to Gore. Gore, you're gonna save me a seat to go see Violent Night. So I will see Violent Night tomorrow. I don't believe there's an embargo in play. So if we do a stream tomorrow, it might be Tuesday. It'll be short, but it'll only be about Violent Night. I'll let you know if we do that. Otherwise, Sunday night might be our show. It might just be the Sunday night MMT, because I feel like that's our one night again to empty the chamber, to get it all out and get after it. Mullet Sutherland, no question about it. I would be an awesome Sinestro. I listen. Oh my, hold on. Who? Wait, Sinestro. Holy shit! I'm sitting here going. I was thinking honestly for a moment. I was thinking GI Joe. Which by the way, they screwed that up. Paramount. How did you screw up Snake Eyes and ruin that entire frame? You had a chance to make that thing amazing. You had Scarlet all set. You had what's her name from Ready or Not. Oh my God, I was like, this is Samara Weaving, and then you blew that. When I think of a mullet, I think of Joe Elliott of Def Leppard. Yes, Hysteria. Let's just talk for a moment about Def Leppard, because we like to do this here. When you go back and you look at the Hysteria album and you talk about an Animal, you talk about Hysteria, you talk about what other songs are on there. Those two songs for sure, Animal and Hysteria, are two of my favorite songs. Okay, but Def Leppard, their discography and their hits over the years, I think rival almost any rock band. I would almost say ever. I mean, that's how strong Def Leppard is. That's one reason all the kids are still wearing Def Leppard shirts. Because first of all, that font's badass. That Def Leppard font. And also, you want to talk about an underrated Def Leppard song before we move on from Def Leppard? Promises. I love Promises. If you have not ever heard Def Leppard Promises, it was very late in their they went through their peak, right, from 83 to 90, but outside of that they released a song called Promises in 91, 92, when metal was going down and we had the Seattle bands coming up. Promises might be, I think it's their most underrated track, but if you put on Def Leppard Promises, you will destroy whatever you're about ready to do. Put that on, it'll amp you to a level 50 and you'll be ready to do whatever you want to do. Pour Some Sugar on Me. That's also on that. Mutt Lange is the man. He's such a hell of a great producer. Love Bites. Great song. But you really do. Is it 99, Ron? Is Promises 99? I think you're right. Maybe that's why no one knows of Promises. If I didn't have the screw that. I'm gonna put it in here just for a second. I'm not gonna show because we won't get into a copyright thing. I'm just gonna show. Let me show you if I can find it on YouTube. Okay, here it is. Let me share the screen. So this is get out of here, ads.
Fast,
Oh wait,
and
that's
now
right. I have
you
ads
can
now too. I
by
apologize.
asking your healthcare provider.
I'm just kidding. It's funny. So this is Def Leppard Promises. Unbelievable. Was it 99? Hold on. I don't know if it has the year on this, but I'm not going to argue with you. I think you might be right on that. It was. By the way, Mutt Lang again. What a hell of a song. Go listen to this. I'll just put the link on this thing right now. Don't leave. Just put it in the background. There it is. Yeah, I do need YouTube Premium, no ads. There it is. There's the link. I don't know if you can even look for that. Can you even hit the link? There it is. That's the link for the Promises video. All right, let's go. About 10 to 15, and then we're out here on this Sunday. Nice blue hue. Yeah. Listen, Matthews, I said to myself, let's make the hue match the kit in tonight's blue for Atalanta. So in this one, by the way, I love any football kit that has a shit ton of patches on it. Literally like a NASCAR patch. Look, we have the Radici group here. We have Joma. I love Joma. Joma's a badass brand. I love Joma. And then you have multiple patches here. And then you have the major thing here. And then on the back, hold on. There's one on the back. It's in the back. It's orange on here. It's literally like I walked into AMC like, what the hell is that? Is he sponsored by all those people? I would be an awesome Tony Stark. Thank you, Chris. That's very sweet of you. I don't want to be him. I'm going to shave off my goatee. My hair's looking kind of weird. It is what it is, but it's definitely becoming a mullet. I do need it. I need premium. You want more COVID rants? Oh God. Jack Sparrow. Hey, thank you. Sharma, thank you for saying that, because when I grew my goatee, you guys know why I did it. It wasn't to look like Tony Stark. It wasn't to look like Robert Downey Jr. I wanted to look like Johnny Depp. I loved the Jack Sparrow goatee-ish thingy. And then I said, so there, finally, tonight I feel seen, I feel validated, and I thank you, Sharma. It's a gold star for you. By the way, 10 minutes. Anyone who wants to get in with the super chat, you're in really fast. Anything else? Listen, let's go back and let's do. Might as well just do. I mean, we're at the point we might as well do a little bit of a COVID rant. Why not? So today, you guys are probably seeing what's happening in China, right? So the Chinese are at the point where they've been locked in their homes. They've been welded into their homes, right? And they're finally at the breaking point. They're like, this zero COVID shit ain't playing, right? We are getting out of our houses, and I don't care if this is communist China. We're going to storm the streets and screw you guys. And I'm telling you, when you see that in China, I said today in a tweet, if it's happening in China like that, you sure as hell know it's never going to happen again here. No one's ever going for that shit again. No one's ever doing a lockdown again. I told you guys I'm not doing it. I don't care if that's politically incorrect to say. It's never happening again, ever. So good luck trying, because it's never going to happen. So just put those plans away. Shutting shit down isn't in the cards. So put it away. People, ain't happening. You know I'm right. Anyone else? Like, good luck. If they even try to lock shit down again, I promise you this, I will lead Gore and I will lead an army of people down Sunset in defiance. It'll look like China only 100 times more, because it's never happening again. There's no chance that it's ever. Lockdown was bullshit. I know some of you are like, oh my God, he's going up. But it's true. I have not left. I'm not right. I'm just telling you, screw lockdowns. Ain't happening again. Fauci, shutting schools down, whatever. Get that dude out of here. Does anybody like Anthony Fauci, since we're on this? Is there anybody who's like a fan of that guy? Like any legitimate fan of him? No, they're not. There's nobody. That guy needs to go away. We're not going to stop. We're not going to end it on COVID talk. We are going to do this. Everything Everywhere is overrated. Wasim is just like on fire tonight. Doesn't have a rewatch factor. It goes on 15 minutes too long. I got your message now. Being used to it is. That's my point. Is the film up to 145? I love the final 30. I would argue even more is just to the point where you're beaten into submission. And once that happens, all the goodwill that's built up over the first 145 is torn down by your desire to flee the theater. And that's the problem with the film Over My Shoulder, Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's got so many great elements, so many things that I love about it. Michelle Yeoh, one of the best performances. I have no problem with her in the Best Actress discussion, and certainly supporting as well, supporting actor. But when you look at the film, it just is a repetition of ideas where you just go, okay, you have now beaten me into submission, and I give up. I quit. And that's not good for any film. You never want to have that. 5-minute warning. 5-minute warning, everybody. Get your last comments in, and then we are rolling out. And yeah, exactly. 40. I said it's at least 30. I would argue 40. I mean, I think that's fair, Sharma. I think it's at least 30, and it is a brutalizing final 30. And you guys understand how you finish is very important in film in particular, because that's the last impression you have of the film. And when you look at a film like Over My Shoulder, After Sun, if you've not seen After Sun, the conclusion of After Sun is an emotional epiphany, the likes of which I have not experienced since I go back to maybe Ghost Story back in 2017, which is still one of my favorite movies of the past decade plus, because of that ending, that spiritual just devastation that is unleashed in Ghost Story and After Sun. Very similar. The way they sneak up on you, and then all of a sudden they just take your heart and rip it out of your body. And the end of After Sun is how you finish a film. It is one of the best films of the year. Charlotte Wells, the very clear director of note going forward from the year 2022. For someone who came in out of nowhere and then delivered After Sun, you are looking at a talent that we'll be talking about for years and years and years to come. Very much the same way I felt about Rose Glass coming out of Saint Maud. When you look at those two directors, by the way, both are women. Oh, Eric, you hate female directors. You hate all female directors. Any film directed by a woman, Eric doesn't like. Those people. Oh my God. Yeah, that's right. Because two of my favorite films of the past several years, 3 years is it now? Saint Maud, Rose Glass, woman. Oh, Charlotte Wells, After Sun, woman. Oh my God, how's that possible? The film Twitter people suck. Screw you if you're a loser film Twitter person. Screw you. You are. You know you are. You have to see After Sun. It's so good. Such a great film. So good. I wish there were more tight 90 to 100-minute films. It used to be the standard. Now you get more showing, storytelling is more disciplined. That would be my first move if I came in as a head of creative for any studio, no matter what it was. I would say your movie's going to come in at 100 or under. If I see the film and it's at 115 and I love it, we can talk about leaving it. But my number I want to see is 100. And I said this before, and this got Scott Feinberg in trouble because he didn't say it the right way. And I understand we're tiptoeing down a really tough path here. But Harvey Weinstein, stick around here because we've said it before, so it's not a surprise what I'm about to say. Listen, if there's one thing, forget all the bad shit, terrible, horrible thing. One thing that he was notorious for was telling directors, your film needs to come in under 140, 150 max, like 140. And so when you go back and look at a lot of those Miramax and those Weinstein films, they were all shorter. They were all in that 140 range. And no further proof is needed than when you look at Andrew Dominic, when he worked under the Weinstein banner with Killing Them Softly. And then you look at Andrew Dominic working under the Netflix label with Blonde, and you have a 3-hour film. So there is value, tremendous value, in a studio head executive having the power to tell a filmmaker, you got to cut, this is too long, this scene doesn't work, do this, do that. And it's not, listen, that's not everybody that can do that. I know I can. I'm 100% certain of that. There's no doubt in my mind. I can watch a film and tell you exactly what is working, what is not working, what you need to play up, play down, what you need to keep, get rid of. Or sometimes you walk out of a film like an After Sun, and guess what? No notes, none, not one. We're good. Not one. But Every other film, virtually any other film, you have notes, and the notes almost always across the board unilaterally are, this film is too long. Note number one, you need to cut your film. It's going on too long. Brett, thank you. Really appreciate it. Thank you for the super sticker. You rock. Everybody else, you rock too. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. We're going 1:15 tonight. 1:15. So we're going to extend like about 15, and then we'll probably wrap, and then maybe tomorrow. My film Twitter for you. They're coming for me again, like I care. The film Twitter people. Oh my god, the film Twitter people. Shorter films cost less to shoot. A 3-hour film is like 2 films. Disney's showing the Volley coming in at 200 to 250. Oh my god. Thank you for bringing this up, Patrick. You've been on fire tonight, by the way. James Cameron has a quote recently where he said that he had a Fox exec come into him and say, this film is 3 hours, you got to cut it down. And he said, get the F out of here. First of all, I promise you this. I don't care. I'm not scared of James Cameron. Come on, step up. I'm telling you right now, there's no way in hell that the 3-hour Avatar Way of Water doesn't have dead space, doesn't have stuff we can cut out. There's no chance. So, do not cheer him for telling executive to go F themselves, because I'm telling you, there are people out there, not many, I'm one of them, who could walk in there and say, you need to cut here. This needs to be rearranged. Change this. Oh my God, it's better. It's happened all the time. I say things like, you need to move this, and people go, my God, you're right. It's better film. Of course it is, because you understand how gripping film works, right? When you watch something that is enthralling, that is absolutely 100%, you are engrossed in the film. You know why that's the case. You can identify the reasons. And for me, back to After Sun. It's After Sun Love Night tonight. After Sun is a film that is very adept at making you feel exactly what Charlotte Wells wants you to feel, and the tremendous sense of loss. Because if you haven't seen After Sun, I'd love to discuss this in a longer stream only about that film. I have a theory about the end and about what happened, and the fact that it's almost going to cry right now. That's how powerful that film is. And the power of that is what we're looking for. We're looking for that in everything we consume when it comes to cinema, for me. And when we get that drug, when we get that absolute pure emotion that you find in After Sun, you want more of it. But the bad news is it's rare. We don't get it often. The movies that truly do drill you and absolutely just tear your heart out. And it's not Fablemans. It is not. It's not Fablemans. Oh my God, Fablemans. I can't even believe I put it up there. It's there, but it's so far out of the way, right? It's just barely peeking out there because it's not good. But because it's going to be a big awards film, I figure I better put it on the wall. But I'm not proud to display it like I am She Said, like I am X, like I am the Batman, like Pearl. Even Everything Everywhere All at Once, it's not, this is really prime real estate. So whatever comes in here is going to be, Maverick's going to go here, one of these spots, okay? But I love the cover here. I love doing the film. La La Land, you talk about Chazelle, that's great Chazelle. Whiplash, great Chazelle. Black Panther, the original. These are all good films. But when you talk about something like Fablemans, that's just faux emotion. It is saccharine. It is inauthentic. And Michelle Williams is bad. Bad. Atrocious. It's one of the worst performances, certainly of her career, but one of the worst performances of the year. Anyone who says Michelle Williams is great needs to have, literally, you need to be checked in, because we need to check you out. There's something wrong with what you're not seeing things properly. And I think that when you look at that performance, it's bad. And I think that what's funny is that they're actually pushing her in lead. Someone called her, I think on Twitter, to one of my replies, a manic pixie. That is very good. That is very apropos of what that is. Brett, I owe you a comment for sure. Best movie ever. Listen, the Batman, and you know how much I love You know how much I think Matt Reeves is one of the best directors working. The thing that I love about the Batman is that it finally brought Matt Reeves the attention that he's been deserving for well over 10 years, hell, almost 15 years, going all the way back to Let Me In. Let Me In was everything that I love in film, and that was one of his first films, right? He did Cloverfield, he did the TV, he did Then Let Me In was after Cloverfield, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it was after. It might have been right before. But Let Me In is like, you just watch that and you go, that is filmmaking. And that, by the way, is Greg Fraser. That's where they started. So they started on Let Me In, and then they end up on the Batman. And I imagine he's going to not do another film without him. You know, when I ran into Matt Reeves at the premiere of the very forgettable Armageddon Time, he was saying he's working on Batman 2. I did should have just said, are you working with Greg again? But I mean, it's almost like, what's the point of asking that? Of course he is. Like, after working with Greg Fraser, why would you'd never work with anyone else? Like, Greg, I'm only working with you, and that's the only person I'm ever going to hang out with. And when we shoot a movie, you're it. Matt, look, thank you. I mean, Wasim, 100%. I mean, 100% is one of the best films of the 2010s. It's truly, Let Me In is a remake of Let the Right One In, right? So when you look at that and you say to yourself, this is a very hard film to remake, right, in the English language, which is what happened with Let Me In, because the original was such a great film. But then to not just remake it, but to make it better is, virtually impossible. And that's what Matt Reeves did. So at that moment, I go, this is a guy that we're going to be talking about for years and years and years to come. And so that's why when I go back to people like Rose Glass and I go to Charlotte Wells and After Sun, when you see these things, you know that you're in the presence of greatness and that will pay off over the years. And that's what's going to happen. I often disagree with your takes and aspects, but it makes me question me. Best thing. Thank you, sir. Really appreciate that. I mean, that's the thing is, I think that's all I ever want. And we're probably going to wrap for tonight because I think it's a good place to wrap. All I ever want from this channel and from coming on here and discussing any of this stuff, whether it's movies, whether it's COVID, whether it's the physique critique, it's always to be having you ask more questions, to question narratives, to question what the official line is, to ask, is that really what that is? Or should we maybe look a little bit further underneath there? So what you realize with me and what you get from me is you get someone who is truly centrist, okay? But yet will call out both sides and decide, I think, where the truth lies. And that's how you should approach everything. And that's what makes me, I think, really good at film evaluation is I do not play with a stacked deck. I absolutely go objective from ground zero. We are starting flat and we're going to go from here, no matter who the film is, who it's from, the studio, the actors, anybody that's involved. It does not matter. All that matters is what is in front of you at that moment as you sit there for the hour and a half, or God forbid, 3 hours for Avatar 2. And I don't know when I'm seeing it, but I got to be honest with you. We'll talk about this on the next stream. I'm not that excited about it. I'm just not that excited about Avatar 2. Maybe you guys are. I'm not. I'm just like, I'm not that thrilled. I'm more excited to see a small A24 film in the beginning of the year than I am Avatar 3. 2. Jesus, we're going to 3 already. 2. I know some of you don't agree with that. We'll talk about that on another stream. That's going to do it for tonight. You guys rock. Appreciate it. Again, we're back. Maybe tomorrow. If not, whenever. Just stay in touch. Get the alerts. Once you hit the alert, we're on. Thanks for watching. MMT is out on this Sunday. Peace out. See you next time.